Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going deep today on some pretty intense accusations against Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah, we are going to be looking at some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, and the allegations of serious misconduct that have been made against him.
Right, and we're pulling all this from a recent article in People magazine.
Yeah, they really laid it all out.
They really did.
And it's important to say right off the bat that these are just allegations, and Combs is considered innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
So let's dive in.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Okay, so 5 new lawsuits against Combs filed by a mix of men and women.
Yeah.
One lawsuit in particular is pretty disturbing. It comes from a woman who claims she was only 13 years old.
13 years old.
When the alleged assault happened.
Yeah, and that lawsuit, along with several others, alleges a range of misconduct, including drugging, sexual assault, and rape.
Wow.
And another thing that's striking is that these accusations span over 2 decades.
Wow.
From 2000 all the way to 2022.
That is a long time. Let's zero in on that lawsuit from the woman who says she was assaulted at 13.
Yeah.
This allegedly happened back in 2000 at an after party for the MTV Video Music Awards.
Right.
She claims she was pressured to sign a non-disclosure agreement, given a drink, and then felt drugged.
And it gets even darker from there. She alleges that Combs approached her with a crazed look in his eyes.
Oh, gosh.
And then ultimately raped her after she was allegedly assaulted by 2 unnamed celebrities, a man and a woman.
It's just horrific to even think about.
It really is. And, it's this alleged use of NDAs is particularly concerning.
Yeah.
Because it reflects a broader issue of powerful figures using legal tools to silence victims. And it really makes you wonder how many other stories are out there hidden behind these agreements.
That's a chilling thought. And to make things even more complicated, this isn't the only lawsuit.
No, it's not.
That is alleging the use of NDAs.
Right. Cassie Ventura, Combs' ex, has also filed a lawsuit, claiming she was pressured into signing multiple NDAs during their relationship.
Okay, so let's back up for a second and touch on the other lawsuits so we can get the full picture here.
Absolutely.
2 other women are claiming that Combs drugged and raped them.
Right.
Then there are the lawsuits from 2 men.
Yes.
One alleges that he was drugged and assaulted by Combs and an unnamed celebrity. And the other says Combs groped him at a Ciroc vodka party.
So this is where we start to see a possible pattern emerging.
Yeah.
And that's something that investigators and the courts are definitely going to be scrutinizing.
Yeah.
These allegations, while distinct, do share some common threads that can't be ignored.
So how has Combs responded to all of this?
His attorney has issued a statement denying all the allegations.
Not a surprise. What did the statement say?
It calls the lawsuits clear attempts to garner publicity.
Okay.
And expresses full confidence in the facts, their legal defenses, and the integrity of the judicial process.
Okay. That's a pretty standard response in these types of cases.
Yeah, very standard.
All right. So now things are getting even more interesting.
Yes, they are.
With the attorney who is representing the plaintiffs.
Okay.
Tony Busby.
I know the name.
You might remember him from his representation of the women who accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct.
Yes.
This guy is known for taking on powerful figures.
He is not afraid of the spotlight, and he's already made some bold claims.
Okay, like what?
Saying that he represents over 100 people.
100 people?
Accusing Combs of misconduct.
Wow, that's a staggering number. What do you think motivates someone to come forward after all this time?
It's a complex question.
Yeah.
For some, it could be a sense of empowerment, a desire to hold their alleged abuser accountable.
Right.
For others, it might be a feeling that they're not alone.
Yeah.
That their story deserves to be heard. And for some, it could be a combination of factors.
It makes you wonder what impact the #MeToo movement has had on all of this.
I mean, it's undeniable.
Yeah.
Like we've seen a cultural shift with more people feeling empowered to speak out about abuse.
For sure. Speaking of powerful figures facing accusations, the #MeToo movement has undeniably shifted the landscape.
It has.
We've seen this surge in people coming forward with accusations of sexual misconduct against individuals in positions of power.
Yes, and it's changed the way we view these allegations.
Yeah.
There's a greater awareness of power dynamics and how they can be exploited. And there's also recognition that these issues are systemic, not just isolated incidents.
Okay, so we've got these 5 new lawsuits. A high-powered attorney representing the plaintiffs, and a potential avalanche of more accusations on the horizon.
Yes.
But that's not all.
No, it's not.
Combs is already facing a separate criminal case.
That's right, and this case is incredibly serious.
Yeah?
Combs is facing federal charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution.
Wow. And to be clear, racketeering, that basically means running a criminal enterprise.
That is correct.
So he's facing federal charges on top of these new lawsuits. That's a lot to deal with.
It is a lot. He has pleaded not guilty to the criminal charges, but he is being held in federal custody in Brooklyn after being denied bail.
Wow.
So this suggests that the judge sees him as a potential flight risk,
right, or
that they believe the evidence against him is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a major development.
This situation is getting more and more complex.
It is, and, Combs' legal team is pulling out all the stops to try to control the narrative here.
Yeah.
They've filed a motion to restrict extrajudicial statements.
Okay.
Basically, anything said about the case outside of the courtroom from witnesses and their attorneys.
Okay.
They're trying to minimize potential damage from pretrial publicity.
Yeah, that's a common tactic in high-profile cases, but it also raises questions.
It does.
About transparency and the right to free speech.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the judge rules on this.
Definitely, and it looks like we got a while to go before this all plays out in court.
We do. The trial date for the criminal case isn't until May 5th, 2025.
Wow.
Which is over a year and a half away.
That's a long time. So much can happen between now and then.
So much can happen. We're likely to see more legal maneuvering.
Yeah.
Potential plea deals, and maybe even more accusations coming to light.
You're absolutely right. And let's not forget about the gravity of these accusations.
No, absolutely not.
If any of this is true, there are victims who've suffered tremendously.
And if you or someone you know needs help, please reach out to the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE-P.
That's a good reminder.
You can also visit their website, raann.org.
Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
It's so important to remember that there are resources available for survivors.
Absolutely. And remember, if you're ever feeling overwhelmed or need someone to talk to, you're not alone.
Okay, so we've laid out the basics of the lawsuits and the criminal case.
Yeah. But there's another layer to this story that we need to explore.
Yes, there is.
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit.
Right.
Her claims add a whole new dimension to this already complicated situation.
Let's dive into that.
Yeah.
It could offer some insights into some of the patterns of behavior that are alleged in the other lawsuits. All right, so Cassie Ventura's lawsuit against Sean Combs, as you may know, Ventura is a singer and actress.
Right.
And she and Combs were in a high-profile relationship for over a decade.
Yeah, they were together for a long time, but things ended in 2018.
Right.
And that's where this lawsuit comes into play.
Exactly.
It alleges that Combs exerted significant control over Ventura throughout their relationship, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, her claims paint a picture of a relationship that was filled with manipulation and coercion.
Wow.
She alleges that Combs dictated her career choices, pressured her to live with him, and even controlled her finances.
It's like he was trying to micromanage every aspect of her life.
That's the impression that her lawsuit gives.
And it gets even more disturbing from there.
Okay.
She alleges that Combs became increasingly abusive as the relationship progressed, allegedly using threats and intimidation to keep her in line.
This is heavy stuff. And remember earlier we talked about the allegations of NDAs being used to silence potential accusers.
Yes.
Ventura's lawsuit also touches on this. She claims that Combs forced her to sign multiple NDAs, preventing her from speaking out about their relationship.
Exactly. So we're potentially seeing a pattern here of using NDAs to suppress allegations of misconduct.
Right.
This is something that investigators will likely be digging into.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's evidence that Combs systematically used NDAs to keep these accusations quiet, that could be very damaging.
It would definitely raise a lot of red flags.
A lot of red flags.
And Ventura's lawsuit doesn't stop there.
No.
She also alleges financial misconduct.
Right.
Claiming that Combs diverted money from her earnings and used her name and likeness for his own financial gain without her consent.
So this is where the personal and the professional lines get really blurred.
Yeah.
If true, these accusations suggest a pattern of exploiting someone close to him for financial benefit. It just adds another layer to the allegations of abuse of power.
So we've got allegations of control abuse NDAs and financial misconduct.
Right.
All wrapped up in Ventura's lawsuit. How does this connect to the broader set of accusations against Combs?
Well, it certainly seems to bolster the idea that Combs may have used his power and influence to manipulate and control those around him.
Yeah.
It definitely adds to a narrative of someone who used his position to take advantage of others.
And remember, this is just one lawsuit.
One lawsuit.
Busby, the attorney handling the other lawsuits, claims to have over 100 people with accusations against Combs.
So many more stories like Ventura's could be out there.
Yeah, it's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
It is.
With each layer revealing more complexity and potentially more disturbing accusations.
And the sheer volume of these claims is impossible to ignore.
Yeah. It's a lot to process.
It is.
So we've got these new lawsuits, the ongoing criminal case, and Ventura's lawsuit, all swirling around Combs. It's overwhelming to keep track of.
It is. It's crucial to remember that these are just allegations at this point.
Right.
But they are serious and could have a significant impact on Combs' career and legacy.
You know, as we're talking about all of this, I can't help but think about the power of the #MeToo movement.
Yeah.
It's clear we've seen a surge in people coming forward with accusations of sexual misconduct against powerful figures.
Oh, yeah.
What role do you think the #MeToo movement has played in these lawsuits against Combs?
I think the #MeToo movement's impact is undeniable.
Yeah.
It created a climate where victims feel more empowered to speak out and hold their abusers accountable. And it's also put a spotlight on sexual misconduct.
Right.
Particularly in industries like entertainment and music,
yeah,
where power dynamics can be heavily skewed.
It's definitely changed the conversation, but at the same time, we've also seen a backlash against the movement.
Yes, we have.
With some people saying it's gone too far.
Right.
Or is ruining reputations without due process. How do we find that balance?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance.
For sure.
We need to listen to victims and take their allegations seriously.
Right.
While also upholding the presumption of innocence until proven guilty.
Yeah.
It's a difficult but crucial balance to strike.
You're right. We can't forget that false accusations, although rare, do happen.
Yes, they do.
It's important to avoid rushing to judgment.
Right.
And to let the legal process play out.
I agree. Each case is unique.
Yeah.
And we need to evaluate them on their own merits. Carefully considering all sides of the story.
It's like we're witnessing a cultural shift happening right in front of us, with more and more people speaking out about abuse and demanding accountability. And we're seeing it play out in real time with these lawsuits against Combs.
What's interesting is that these cases aren't just about individual accusations. They also raise broader societal questions about power, privilege, and consent. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths about how we treat each other.
Right.
And how we handle allegations of misconduct.
It's a lot to grapple with.
It is.
So we've covered the new lawsuits, the ongoing criminal case, Ventura's lawsuit, and the backdrop of the #MeToo movement.
Right.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to explore.
Okay.
The role of the media in all of this.
Ah, yes. The media is such a powerful force in shaping public opinion.
Yeah.
And it can be a double-edged sword.
For sure.
On one hand, it can amplify the voices of victims and bring much-needed attention to important issues.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it can sensationalize stories.
Right.
Create bias and potentially even influence a jury pool.
And we've seen how quickly news spreads online, especially on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Which can quickly turn into an echo chamber where certain narratives are amplified while others are silenced.
Absolutely.
It can be tricky to navigate.
That's why media literacy is so important these days.
Yeah.
We need to be critical consumers of information, questioning sources, considering biases, and looking for evidence-based reporting.
Well, it's like being a detective trying to sort through all the information and figure out what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
We need to gather the facts, weigh the evidence, and avoid jumping to conclusions based on headlines or viral tweets.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
We also need to be mindful of the potential for harm.
Yeah.
Media coverage can re-traumatize victims.
Right.
Perpetuate harmful stereotypes.
Right.
And even contribute to a culture of victim blaming. It's a lot of responsibility.
I agree. You know, one thing I find troubling is the way some media outlets focus on the celebrity aspect of these cases, almost turning them into entertainment.
Yeah.
Rather than focusing on the serious allegations. It's like they forget that there are real people involved with real lives that have been affected by these events.
That's a great point. It's a delicate balance
between
keeping the public informed and respecting the privacy and dignity of everyone involved.
It's about responsible reporting and finding that sweet spot between sharing information and protecting the individuals involved.
Exactly. And that's where ethical journalism plays such an important role.
Mm-hmm.
Responsible media outlets prioritize accuracy, fairness, and sensitivity in their reporting.
Mm-hmm.
They avoid inflammatory language,
right,
respect the privacy of victims, and strive to present a balanced perspective.
It's about treating everyone involved with respect, regardless of their fame or fortune.
You said it, and it's about recognizing that these cases are much more than just gossip or scandals.
Right.
They're about power, accountability, and the pursuit of justice, which are essential conversations to have.
So let's talk about the potential consequences for Sean Combs in all of this. We've discussed the legal ramifications.
Yes.
But what about the impact on his career, his legacy, his brand?
That's the big unknown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if he's acquitted of all charges, these allegations will undoubtedly linger and have tarnished his reputation.
Right.
It's hard to imagine him maintaining the same level of influence and success he had before.
Yeah, his image has definitely taken a hit. And whether he can recover from that remains to be seen.
It does.
It's a stark reminder that actions have consequences.
Yeah.
And sometimes those consequences reach far beyond just the legal realm.
It also underscores the importance of public perception.
Yeah.
Even if someone is legally innocent, they can still face social and professional repercussions if public opinion leans towards guilt.
That's a tough reality to face.
It is.
And I'm sure Combs is grappling with it right now.
Absolutely. He's facing serious legal challenges. His reputation is at stake, and his future is uncertain.
So where do we go from here? What are the key takeaways for our listeners from this deep dive?
Well, for me, it's clear that this case is about much more than just Sean Combs.
Yeah.
It's a microcosm of larger societal issues surrounding power, privilege, and accountability. These are important conversations to have.
Right.
Even if they make us uncomfortable.
We need to continue having open dialogues.
We do.
And making progress in these areas.
Yes. And in the meantime, we need to remember to listen to victims believe survivors.
Yes.
And hold perpetrators accountable no matter their status or influence.
That's right. And we all have a role to play in creating a culture where everyone feels safe and respected.
Absolutely.
Where consent is paramount.
Yes.
And where justice is served. Yeah, it really makes you think about the price of fame.
It does.
And the allure of power.
Absolutely. Combs has built his career on this image of success, wealth, and influence.
Yeah.
But these accusations really challenge that
Right.
and force us to examine the potential dark side of such a powerful empire.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even the most powerful figures can be held accountable for their actions, and it really begs the question,
Right.
what will become of Sean Combs?
Yeah. What are the possible consequences?
What is he facing here?
Well, legally, he's looking at potentially significant prison time.
Wow.
If he's convicted on those criminal charges.
Right.
And those civil lawsuits could result in some pretty hefty financial settlements.
But even beyond the legal stuff,
oh, yeah.
There's the damage to his reputation and legacy.
Right. Even if he is ultimately acquitted, his image has already taken a major hit.
Yeah.
These are serious accusations that are going to be difficult to completely shake off.
It's a tough reality, and I imagine Combs is feeling the weight of all of this right now.
Sure he is. He's facing a barrage of legal battles.
Yeah.
His reputation is on the line.
Yeah.
His future is hanging in the balance. It's a high-stakes situation.
For sure.
With no easy answers.
We've talked about the possibility of more accusations coming to light.
Right.
But even if that doesn't happen, this case has already sparked a lot of important conversations about power, accountability, and justice.
It really has forced us to confront some uncomfortable truths.
Yeah.
About our society and how we handle these kinds of situations.
What stands out to you as the most important takeaway from this deep dive?
Well, for me, it's the reminder that we all have a responsibility to speak out against injustice and support those who have been harmed.
Well, yeah. How can we do that?
Whether it's through our words or actions or our donations to organizations that are fighting for justice,
right.
We can all make a difference.
Yeah, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or powerless when facing such serious issues.
It is.
But we can't let that stop us from doing what we can to make a positive impact.
Exactly. Every voice matters. Every action counts.
Well said. Well, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. We know it's been a heavy topic, but we hope you found it informative and thought-provoking.
As a reminder, these are just allegations, and Mr. Combs was presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
But it's a case that has sparked a lot of important questions about power dynamics, accountability, and the pursuit of justice.
And it's a story that's likely to continue unfolding for some time. We'll be keeping an eye on it, and we encourage you to do the same, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep those critical thinking skills sharp.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, stay curious, and remember, you're not alone.